Hi, my name's Alex. I moved to Shanghai about a year and a half ago to teach skateboarding and see the world. I've gotten pretty used to living here and have learned a lot about this city. Oscar Boyson is documenting cities all over the world, but I noticed he isn't coming to Shanghai. So, for what it's worth, this is my take on Shanghai. When I moved to Shanghai, the first thing I noticed was the unreal amount of people riding bicycles and scooters. On any given day, there's an endless stream of people going in every direction. The streets of Shanghai are lined with bikes locked to themselves. This blows my mind, because where I'm from, these bikes will be thrown in the back of a truck and off the streets in 2 seconds. The bike share in Shanghai is awesome. It's called Mobike. It's a private company that is pretty new here and has grown super fast. These bikes don't require you to bring them to any locking station, which is my favorite part about it. You can just leave them anywhere you would park a normal bike. It locks to itself and is only 2 RMB an hour. That's about 30 cents. Other than Mobike, I have my own way of getting around. I actually have 3. My own bicycle, a skateboard, and a scooter. A scooter is by far my favorite way of getting around. Although a sometimes dangerous one, in Shanghai, scooters are super convenient. You don't have to deal with lines of people like you do in subways or traffic signals and congestion at intersections. For better or worse, you can sort of do whatever you want when you're on them. Occasionally the government cracks down on them, but it never seems to last more than a few weeks. The Shanghai Metro is another way to get around the city. Everything about the metro itself is awesome. It's super clean, reliable, and affordable. But there are still some limits on convenience when you're talking about 24 million people, especially when it comes to personal space. Rush hour in Shanghai is a nightmare, so I stay as far away from it as possible. In general, the city is super easy to live in. I don't speak much Chinese, but it's easy to learn most basic phrases to get around. Most of my friends and I use our free time to skate, sometimes going for a street beer at Family Mart afterwards. Open container laws don't really exist here, so you're pretty free to hang out with friends anywhere you want for a drink. When I first got here, all of the restaurants had tables outside on the sidewalks and streets for customers. It seems like the government has been cracking down on that lately. There never seems to be any rhyme or reason for why the government decides to crack down on petty things, but every now and then it happens. People adjust to the change quickly, and interestingly enough, there's never any backlash towards the government from the local people, at least none that I can see as a foreigner. I don't know what the future holds for Shanghai. 20 years ago, they didn't even have a skyline. Now it's one of the most iconic on the planet. Maybe the government will keep cracking down on things, or maybe it just sort of comes and goes like that. My short time here has felt like a roller coaster more often than not, but it's one I'm happy to be on. Sometimes I think China's a riddle with no answer, and maybe it's best to let it be just that.